Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us today on our program, The Dynamics of Choice. This is BTIU-STUDIO. My name is Suma Katiba. Today, we focus on the 2022 presidential elections in Kenya. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on our program, The Dynamics of Choice. This is BTIU. My name is Suma Katiba. Today with us is Kareji from Kenya, who will talk to us about the choices they are facing. Kenya right now, in a few days from today, are faced with an option of choosing their next president.
Hi, my name is Karegi, and I'm honored to be on this platform, Dynamic of Choice. And like you heard, in a few days in Kenya, we are going to have elections. We are going to vote in rulers and leaders, which has a lot of impact on the growth of the nation and people at large.
To begin, tell us what is the mood on the ground in Kenya at the moment?
I don't know how to put it, but most people are a bit stigmatized because there's a lot of fear and tension, and people are afraid of the outcome.
Right.
And they're trying to relate to the 2007 post-election violence.
So the mood on the ground is tense, considering what Kenya has experienced before. And looking at the situation right now, do you really have something to fear, anything to fear about that? Are there any early warning systems, any issues that you think might translate in what we saw in 2007?
From the list that I'm seeing on the news, when our leaders go out there to campaign and they start exchanging words or using vulgar language or trying to intimidate others,
Right.
it is a sign that we are already putting that spirit
Right.
of violence in
Right.
a common mwananchi.
Exactly. So the leadership, the leaders themselves who are campaigning right now seem to be setting the tone that might actually not be a very conducive for an already tense situation, isn't it?
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that preamble. And all we pray is actually that we will experience peace. But besides that, looking at some of the issues you talked about and looking at some of the manifestos that our candidates have come up with, do you think they are actually articulating the kind of issues the Kenyan people want taken care of? And if that is the case, who is coming out better in actually articulating their manifesto, and why do you think so?
Personally, I will say I haven't paid that much attention on any of the principals' manifesto because we've had manifesto not once, not twice, and they've been selfish manifesto. Just
Right.
like I will say, this period again, we are having selfish leaders who only are thinking about their welfare and how to protect what they have rather than the common mwananchi and the economy of a country.
Right.
So I don't think I have much on the manifesto that I can say it caught my eye. Unfortunately, nothing caught my eye on any of the manifestos.
Okay, and so in this case, do you think your kind of thought, is also informing, or rather informs the kind of mood that is already in Kenya? Do you think a majority of Kenya have the same sentiment in this case? And if that is the case, what is the risk of going to an election when we know very well that the manifesto are simply for political interest and nothing that touches on the common minorities problem.
People are going to vote because they feel it is their mandatory duty to vote, and I hope and believe that one day we get this mentality out, because voting is not just a mandatory, it is a right, and a tool that gives you power to elect a good leader, and not just a leader, but a friend and a partner.
Interesting observation. You've talked about the issue of voting being a major human right in this case, and in your observation, because that is what everybody is yearning for, that is what every Kenyan is yearning for, that right to vote and also to make sure that their votes are counted. How can we make sure that this happens? What needs to be done in your own opinion? Politics aside, what can really assure the dignity of our vote, that can make sure that our vote counts in this regard?
Maybe if we start with a transparent mode of voting, where we are not being told on how to do things, or rather, being manipulated by one organization that is under influence by either government or maybe by one greedy person or ruler out there. Because from what we've seen on the news already, it is like the whole IEBC body is being manipulated, and from the little we've had or the little we are seeing, it is like the whole system is under siege, and the election is just what Kenyans are saying, that they're just going to vote for formalities.
Right. Right. So in this case, as you said, if I am getting it right, there is a big question about the independence and integrity of the major institutions that would assure Kenyans their right to vote and make sure that their vote counts. Is that the case?
Yes. Yes, that is the case.
What are some of these institutions, and what do you think are going forward the government or even the private sector or the people of Kenya should do to hold these institutions accountable?
When it comes to the government, one thing I would say, IEBC should be an independent body with no ties to the government.
Great.
And they need to give common mwananchi the privilege, the honor of enjoying his personal vote.
You actually said very correctly that it would be better for these institutions that have the responsibility of making sure that Kenya gets what it deserves to be independent of any outside individual or otherwise interference in this case. And that seems to be the problem even as we head towards the election. So my next question in this case, basing on what you've just told us, do you think the whole August 9th election is a lost cause? Do you think Kenya is a lost cause, or do you think that there is some hope in that?
Kenya is not a lost cause, neither is the election.
Okay.
That can only happen if Kenyans themselves, they will stand up against tribal line, against ethnicity, and vote as Kenyan. It will only happen if Kenyan will choose peace over individualism and political party.
And as you say that, of course, we watching the news. There seem to be a lot of intense excitement on the ground as far as uh, uh, voters are concerned. Because when you see the major candidates, Raila Odinga, Ruto, and even Wajakoya, for this matter, they seem to be pulling quite some interesting, good crowds in this case. Do you think the crowds are well informed? Do you think that people have already made a decision on who is going to be their president right now?
Um, if I have to compare notes from the last election and from what we have, the statistics we have today, is Kenyan youths, they never vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, majority of them have never registered as voters.
Great.
And when you go back to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
you will find majority of those people cheering the leaders out there
Mm-hmm.
are youths.
Right.
And then the lead to your question is,
Mm-hmm.
who is fooling who? You know?
Right.
So the the excitements that we see out there are not really what we expect to see by the end of the day come August after the election. We might be surprised with what will be displayed.
That is a very
You
interesting
understand?
observation, and particularly talking about the youth, which makes a bigger percentage of the electorate in this case. And your view is that many of them do not even have voters register, and there are a majority of those people who are seen out there supporting in a frenzy, looking at different candidates in this case. So what is on the ground right now cannot definitively reflect what will happen on the ground, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Even as we wind up this interview, Karegi, I will just like to give you an opportunity to maybe just tell us your view. Tell Kenyans what you expect come August 9th. If you were to advise all the Kenyans and everybody, what will you tell them?
One thing I will tell Kenyan is I'm a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, and I am a Kenyan and a tribe of Kenya. Above all, I have friends from all over Kenya, and the truth is my mama mboga is a Kisi. My best shopkeeper is a Kalenjin, and my best friend is a Giriama, a Kikuyu, and a Luo. And my landlord is a Kikuyu. So all these people are there for me since I came to Nairobi. And I've never seen a leader who has come in for me when I was on my lowest point. But all these people have understood me. So today I choose to be there for these people, and I decide that I'm voting Kenya, and I'm voting my friends who have stood for me and be there for me when my political friends were never there. So I vote peace, and I encourage all Kenyans to pick the same slogan and look around them and choose peace and vote Kenya.
Thank you so much. Nothing and nobody will have put it better. Nobody will have given a fine print of peace than what we have just finally had as a concluding observation. And we really thank you so much for this message. Vote everything that points towards a peaceful Kenya. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us today. Kareji Akivaga has been our guest, and we continue looking forward to calling in, to speaking to you, to letting your voice be heard on BTIU Studio, the dynamics of choice.